You may have received one of these for your birthday or Christmas. It's a kind of a light thing which makes a bing bong Mario sound. It's pretty lame on most accounts, but I'm going to show you how to take this from a zero to a retro gaming hero. Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong and welcome to the back of his teardown lab. You have seen these. These are all over the place, and I think I got one for a birthday, and it's kind of cool but not cool enough that I want to kind of use it as it intended. It's a sort of a lamp thing, and it does that. But I've recently been messing around with MP3 modules, and you might have seen I've got all sorts of kinds, and this one's the most evil kind, really difficult. But I had to make a mod for my Odroid where I needed to pull the headphones out of something, and that was this MP3 player, which I kind of tore down on my YouTube channel years ago, and it's all like busted up now because I've modded it. And when I say mod it, it's really easy. So instead of messing around with those modules, you can buy these MP3 players for literally a couple of pounds. And what I've done is I've removed the battery because I've used that in some other project. I've replaced the headphones out with these speakers. Now I might put an amplifier in this, but this is just for testing. So I can just show you what happens. Because when you apply power, and by the way, you have next track, previous track, pause, volume controls here, which we probably won't use. The idea really I had was I was going to make something in the garden that just lives in a rock, and you just hear music when you go to that corner of the garden. I'll probably still do that, but in the meantime, check this out. So I plug this in, and it'll just start playing tunes. So what I've done basically, I've loaded up the SD card at the moment with a bunch of random chip tunes. So the idea is, for me, is that I'm just going to try seeing if I can mount this in that just to make this cooler, because I'm still going to go make my other thing. But as I say, I've got loads of MP3 modules, and this is one you can make at home just by taking something. I mean, you might have an old iPod Shuffle or something. So first things first, let's dismantle this. So I haven't really gone into it. It's weird actually. It's so annoying. Sound off, please. So the nice thing is it does have a sound on off, so at least we can use that. 4.5 volts. So it's sort of emulating a lithium cell, so it's probably enough voltage to run this thing, but you would want it powered on by USB power, and it's just handy this thing does come with USB power anyway. So I like the idea of hooking this up so just it starts playing Nintendo tunes. So we start it playing Mario and then do some... Ooh, what ones would I have? I'd probably have F-Zero, I'd probably have Castlevania, I'd probably have just my favourite tunes. And if you don't want the tunes, you can just turn the volume off. And I don't know, it's better, isn't it? It's making something, it's a bit lame, better. I'm going to turn my soldering iron on in the corner of my eye because I kind of feel we're going to need that. So, yeah, there's nothing here really. It's literally just a board, this board with an LED in it as far as I can tell. But it's just, I'm going to take these springs out so we can only lose those. Try not to lose the screws because it's crazy pants. Look at that. There's nothing to it at all. Absolutely nothing to it. So let's see if we can get this speaker out. That's going to be the trickiest part, I think, of this whole project. It does appear to be screwed. I'm just going to take this off the bench for a minute. I'm just going to... I think they've screwed the speaker in after gluing it. I think that's the process for this. I'm going to try to run a spludger in there, but it doesn't seem to be much. There's no spludging scope. There's no spludging scope. So I'm going to do a little... well, before I do my little test, let's pop some batteries in and see exactly what this is doing. Ready? So that's just 4 LEDs come on. There's nothing. I don't even know why there's a microcontroller. I suppose that's just for the sound, you know, and it does the diddling, diddling. Right. So if we're going to mod it, we have to mod it from the top. Dig it to the bridge. So it looks to me though like we can have our sound effect board basically running totally separate almost. So the whole Mario sample. Oh, what? This is crazy sauce. There's even two. Look at this. Two LEDs on the bottom mounted downwards. Why did they do that? That is so bonkers. Is it just to sort of illuminate this base? This is a weird old design, right? Isn't it? Really weird. It's a weird old design. So looking on the board, there's also some interesting things. It's not quite populated here. So speaker plus, speaker minus, and then we have. Okay. Ah, right. Okay. So these are this. What? SW minus and SP minus and SW plus are actually connected here via the switch. Strokey beardy, strokey beardy. Put that back up there. Let's take the speaker off because it will allow us to mess with this more. That one. And we've got that one. So it looks to me that it probably always plays that tune when you press the button technically. So it does the diddling, diddling, yeah, the Mario-ish tune. I'm going to just disconnect that speaker totally, if I may. There we go. Good. So let's see what we can see. So we've got a switch here. And we're going to get our meter onto that. Because we want to see if there's power to the switch, basically. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Good. So I'm going to get some wire. You can see I get my wire wherever I can. I'm a wire salvager type person. And getting fresh wire. Okay, what are these screws for? Oh yeah, they were for that LED ring. Very dodgy very dodgy brain. How about that? I was going to say very dodgy mind, but no, very dodgy brain. Get that there, get that there. So we should be able to tap into that switch. That's my plan anyway. And I'm sticking to it. So first I'm just going to tin these wires and put a power connection on our MP3 board so that we can at least try to experiment by hooking that into things. And then we're going to worry about the speaker mounting. So you can see I've got obviously two speakers on my board, but you don't really need two speakers. It's just a nicety. I was just testing it with two. But we'll be able to fix that. So just get some power going on. So on this board originally there was a battery, you see, so I'm just eyeballing it because by all intents and purposes we should be able to use that as a power connector. And I'm thinking it's those pins, but hard to see what the polarity might be. I think that might be positive and this one might be negative. Just hold that there for now. I'm just going to check that switch, see which way round the old powery Rooney was going, and then just hook this up. See if we tap into that power supply, what will happen. No, don't do it that way. I was doing it the wrong way then. Okay, that seemed to confuse this thing a little bit. Whoa! You see how that comes on, by the way? That switch, it's just like microcontroller control. It's not actually a... Whoa, that's mind blown. So that switch there is actually just a... Of course, it's just a momentary switch, isn't it? Bugger. So I wonder what's the quiescent current of that board? This thing did flash briefly. Let's try that again. Right, hooking this up. So you can't quite see it, but there's a flash going on here. I'm just experimenting. Yep, that does work. It's really quiet though, very quiet, but then there is a volume on this. So we need to figure out how this is driven then. My camera kind of screwed up a bit, but to cut a long story short, I've dismantled the bottom of that. It has a battery powered logic board which contains a bunch of LEDs on the top here and a couple on the bottom, and I'm just trying to see if I can tap in this MP3 player module which I've decombobulated ages ago and had it lying around. And the reason I'm using this rather than bespoke MP3 modules is that it's simpler and they're really cheap, and if I can do it, you can do it, because you can just get one of these off eBay. So there is a speaker in this, but I've still got these test speakers hooked up right now, so I'm kind of will figure out where to solder on this. So at the moment we do have a button you press which makes the LEDs light, so I'm just going to try to tap into those contacts right now. So I believe we have a transistor here that seems to be switching all that on, so I'm going to put something here and I'm going to put something, I could put it here on this rail. There seems to be another transistor here. It's probably to boost it up. If it was a higher current draw, they were probably firing a couple of MOSFETs, additional MOSFETs, to handle the current, which is probably what we would need once we're doing this, but let's go for it. Let's see if we can blow that bad boy up. So hook that in there now. I've hooked up to this on-off switch so we can turn the sound on and off independently. So when you turn it on with sound off, no sound, you can switch its sound on at any time. And I've removed the keycap, the domes. Here's the domes that you get on top of the buttons for the MP3 player. Where have they gone? And I've actually just soldered a blob onto the volume plus because I want it to be maximum all of the time. Ironically, you can still use these, some of them at least, for doing the volume next previous song. But I'm going to now desolder this and put it into the actual case itself. So let's just turn that off there. So I can turn it off there or turn it off there, that's fine. I've got two speakers set up, but I'm going to retask those probably for other projects anyway, so I'm not too bothered about only having the one, but it would be just nice if it's decently loud, so that's my only requirement. So let's desolder those. So these were straight on headphone output, so it's pretty impressive that this thing's headphone amplifier was capable of putting out something that reasonably loud, kind of almost line out level. So I'm just going to put this onto the PCB directly, so I'll zoom in on the next one for you. Focus. So there we go. So these are the two channels. So I don't know, we can kind of just go for one channel for now and see what happens. I mean, you could technically just solder them together. Not sure what that might do to this internal amplifier on this unit. To be honest, most bit tunes probably I would just downsample the MP3s into mono if you're that bothered. But we're not talking about high fidelity here. So we've got the speaker in this now, and here's our module. So let's turn that on. We'll turn sound on. Yeah, it's doing it. I wouldn't say it's like massively loud or anything, to be honest with you. I'm not seeing any negative by shorting out those two channels on this thing, so I'm going to just go in now and just solder them together. This camera is struggling today. He's struggling on the old focus. I'm going to really sit down. I haven't done it for a while, but I'm going to sit down and recalibrate all my gear at some point. I mean, it's generally point and shoot type operation, but it can go out of play there. Okay, so that's my pretty horrible jumper there, but that's fine. It's functional. I'm going to say it's functional. It's not pretty. It's just functional. Nasty. That is a nasty bit of soldering. Fine. Right, so we're going to turn this on. And you've got to pretend you're listening to Nintendo tunes now. I'm not putting any Nintendo tunes because of obvious copyright reasons. I'm just seeing if I can actually change the track. I can't. So all I need to do then is turn this off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. This is the micro SD card that has all the MP3s. You can put loads on there. You can put real music if you want. It doesn't have to be chiptune, of course. But I'm just going to make the effort now, just doing the last bit of getting this into the case. Now, I'm not going to glue the floating board just yet because, well, frankly, I'm not sure really how this is going to sound. So I'm going to put it in, and I'm still slightly concerned it won't be loud enough or good enough. So I might want to fit an auxiliary amplifier. I do have plenty of those, and there are plenty on my website. If you fancy one, go have a look. Support the channel. So we just pop those on like that, and I'm just going to basically shove all of this lot in here. I just want to see what it sounds like once it's all encapsulated, because sometimes things sound totally different. Which way around? That's the right way as well. Hurrah! I think that's kind of cool. It's not too loud. So you just got to pretend in your head it's like, you know, do 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 do. Oh, that's Sonic. Super Sonic Mario 4. That's a great tune. There you go. Hope you like that. Please go out and make one. I do apologise by the quality of this video today, but yes, my camera did cock up many a time. As ever, thank you for watching.